Okay, people, so it's still September 23rd, 2019. Obviously, I'm trying to work with two separate programs here in terms of editing programs. One, and two, I'm using a different camera, right? And obviously, I cropped the picture, I panned in, I zoomed in, and now I'm using the camera, because the more you zoom in, the blurrier it gets, because this picture itself is already blurry. But if I use the camera and zoom in with the camera, it doesn't blur as bad. Now I'm taking it from this perspective. This, I want you to look, first of all, people, notice the position of her head. Okay? It's facing straight forward. I'm not sure if this is on the 15th or on the 19th. I think this one is on the 19th. I have two separate pictures of her from the 15th and on the 19th. And then I also have pictures of her on the 17th. Okay, this one I have to dig up the originals, right? So anyway, let's just move forward. So I just want you to make a mental note. Oh, I'm resting on a box here, trying not to move the camera. And I'm keeping it at a fair distance. If I go in this way, right, without zooming in, I'm pretty close to the, what do you call it? To the screen. If I start zooming in now, I want you to notice the eyes. She has eye caps in, people. Okay? The reason it's so rounded is because they put eye caps in. Because their eyes were starting to cave in. I've already shown that in another video with a different picture. And that's why they look so poofy. And if you notice, I'm moving in closer, but because I'm near the screen with electricity between speakers, I'm having to pull back the camera, right? It's picking up the electricity. Cameras are conductors to electricity. So I'm just going to keep zooming in because, no, it doesn't like it. So maybe if we just go slowly forward without zooming, just so that we can get a better idea of what's going on with her bushy eyelashes. And don't you think they're pretty bushy? What happens if I go real close? Obviously the camera doesn't like that. I'm moving the speaker. Yeah. Notice this area over here. You can't really see it because it's hidden. You can see her jaw that look like jowls. You can see the skin pulling away. Right? And this is why I want you to make notice of the position of her face. Because they were moving her face around, people. They put it off to the left, they put it off to the right, they put it off into the center to make it look like, so that as people were going in and out, right, you know, or the position of her head changed. So it bought them time. That's what it did, people. As they were moving her around, her dead body around. I can't stress it enough. They were not doing it because they were doing anybody a favor. They were doing it because they were trying to hide the fact that she was dead and embalmed, and they were doing Frankenstein science on her. Okay? Now this is also a different computer screen that I'm looking at. If I'm seeing that jiggling line in there, you guys are probably seeing it too. I don't know if it's picking up energy from the speakers, because the speakers are very, very close to the screen. Whereas the other computer with the other screen has no speakers around it, because I don't even have speakers plugged into it. Right? I use headphones with that one. So there's no interference with frequency when it comes to like magnetic fields. Right? So what I need to do is, after I convert this over, save it on a flash drive, and take it to the other computer and look at it with a different screen, obviously with this particular camera, and see if I get a different result. Right? I don't expect to see too much here because, what do you call it? The picture itself is blurry. Right? This is a very lonely process. All right? Because I'm doing this by myself. Hold on a minute. Let me stop that. So what would happen if I zoomed in from this particular advantage point? Okay. Obviously I cropped it a bit there from the original picture. So what do we want to zoom in on? Her chin, it looks like a jowl. ShaMay doesn't have a jowl. Do you see that, people? I don't know why the camera doesn't like it. You're probably seeing lines. I'm seeing lines, so I'll pull back. What happens if we move closer? And you have to remember, they send you out, right? When they want to do something, they send everybody out into the waiting room, and they'll make you wait till a particular time before you're allowed back into the room, including her own mother. Okay? This is an ICU ward where they kick you out, but they let anybody come in, even though the family says, don't allow these people to come in. They allow them to come in, but they also kick out everybody when they want to, because they're moving her head around, they're touching up the makeup, you know, they're making sure nothing's leaking, right? You know. Okay, people, I'm going to upload that. I'm going to keep this short because you can see what I've been doing all day. I've been testing this camera, for one thing, and because it's an old camera, it only converts into so many things from, like, it was made to upload to YouTube for a 10-minute video under MOV format, which I can't, well, I'd have to download a video record, like a video player, right? Besides Windows Media, because Windows Media doesn't pick up on what is uploaded on this particular camera. That's why I'm using this computer with a different program. Right? This is the program that I'm using, right? To edit this, which is a completely different program than what's on there. This one, I can access the file from this computer and I can do what I've done, although I think this one has maybe more features, but I can't access the video on this one. I can't. I think I can probably pull it up in the editor, but even when I convert it over, I don't have a selection of video players to pick up the various different codecs cameras that I'm working with different formats that they save the original files in, and this is where I'm getting confused, and this is where you're seeing me upload a video with a, you know, an MPEG-4, which I'll never do again because the resolution on that was like, what, 280 or 260 or something? The highest I can get to on these cameras is 480. That's the highest. And the video quality on a 480 resolution, from my understanding, from what I can see, isn't working very good. Right. But that's all I have, people. That's all I have. So I'm going to just bring this up a little. I'm going to bring this video up where I cropped it here. You can see same picture. This is a very lonely road for me, people. So there, you see, it just jumped and then I held it there. I held it there, so we're not seeing too much with this one because this one's way too blurry. I didn't look at the machines or anything, you know, that's, I can do that later. Right? I don't know. Well, obviously her tongue is coming out, and now, actually, you see this picture shows that, people, and that's what was happening. Her shit in here was starting to ooze out from in her eyes on that day. We thought maybe it was her eyes, but they had caps in there. Something else was oozing out. And do you see? Oh, hold on. Her lip is completely swollen. Right, and here you can see that her tongue is coming out of her mouth. It's protruding. Right, everybody knows it near the end. And she on another video or picture I can show you where in here the water blisters are noticeable, because she was starting to form water blisters on her body, right? But again, they come in and they do their touch-ups. They send you out, even the mother, and they won't let you back in for an hour or 2 or 3, as the nurses do what the nurses do. And this is what British Columbian taxpayers pay for, to pamper a corpse, okay? I don't know how Andrew the Dragon is going to worm his way out of this one. I really don't. Obviously, I'm not done. Because as I'm going through the video, before I add it into what I just did to make a longer video, before I upload this video, I'm watching this video and I'm seeing things that, again, I mentioned it before. Okay, I need something to rest my arm on so I don't shake. Okay, I'm going to zoom in first. And the lines that I was seeing before when I was hesitant to zoom in, because I was seeing little squiggly lines because it's picking up the energy in here. It's not showing on the camera. What it's showing people is this in here. Remember when I told you they shave the body of its hair? Minus, I guess, what's on the head. And remember I said you can't see no hair on her skin? But if you look here, I'm going to zoom in. This is her forehead, because I was looking for something else, which we're going to go back and see if I can find it now that I'm doing this. Okay, I'm going to come in closer, and you're going to see, what you're going to see is you're going to see her hairline. Okay. I don't know how clear that is. See, the closer I get, I start to see these lines. All right. And then it fades out in here. Whoops, sorry. It starts to fade out. You don't see. It's not coming in clear in here because of shadowing. But when you get up into here, I'll come closer. It looks like it's been shaved to me, people. Now you have to remember, after the body dies, hair will continue to grow. Now I'm not absolutely sure on this. I'd have to double check on it. But it continues to grow, people, even after the body is dead. Oh, I think it's well over a 24-hour period. Hair is one of the last things to stop with the, you know, I don't want to say growing, but whatever bodies do, right? It's one of the last things to shut down, right? One of the first things, once the brain is dead, is all the organs, because the gut goes into eating itself, and it spreads out little receptors, messages to the organs and everywhere else in the body to let the body know that it's dead now and it can decompose, right? But hair is one of the last ones to get that message. And even when you look here, when you look here, people, like, oh, it's so important that I try and show this to you. You can see, I'll come a little closer if I can. I'm not seeing very good on it there. Now I can see it in the screen. Do you see how this skin itself is I don't know how you can call it. What do you call that? Do you see it? Those could very well be the beginning stages of the blistering, because it's blistering up. You can see something there is different. But in here you can see, right? I'm going to come real close. I might have to move these speakers. This is her hairline, people. To me, it looks like it's been shaved, because if you notice, you don't see nothing over here. Absolutely nothing. 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 There's that famous circle with the dot in it. Do you see that? I'm looking through the camera lens. I can't see it with the naked eye. There it is. I can see it now. I can see it now, but it was only brought to my attention, people, by doing it this way. She has that, remember, with the last little clip that I did on this, with her in a different position, and I was pointing it out to you, that was right next to the blister on her nose? Well, that's the same thing, right there. It's right, oops. It's right there. Okay. And then, here, let this drop. We'll look in here. Remember I told you they shaved them? If you look in here, you see nothing. But you can see a little bit. Where did that pencil go to? I lost it already. I'm nervous, people. This upsets me. This is the bridge of her nose. Here's her nose. Here's her eyebrow up in here. Okay, well, here we go. Let's see what we're looking at. The camera is picking that up quite well. It's picking up something. But when you get over here, there it is again. Do you see that? And then all of a sudden, no hair. So maybe in that area there, it's kind of hard to, what do you call it? What are we looking at here? Okay. This supposedly is her eyelash. Supposedly. Okay. And then when we come along in here, I don't know what the term for that would be, but it's something. And now we're getting up into her eyebrow. This is her eyebrow in here. Okay. Now, since we're doing this, there was something I seen that I didn't see before. Oops, sorry. And I'm going to see if I can catch it.
15th or on the 19th?
And if I do,
one is on the 19th.
Well, we'll record it right now.
I have 2 separate pictures of her from the 15th and on the 19th. And then I also have pictures of her on the 17th.
Where are we?
Okay, this one I have to dig up the originals.
Okay,
right?
let me
So anyway,
focus.
let's just move forward. So I just want you to make a mental note. Oh,
I don't know where I am. I seen it here, people. There it is. What is that? I want to know. My. Is this moving? No. It's right up in there. Is that a water? I don't even want to call them water blisters. They look a little bit like water blisters, but is that the beginning of a blister? Because, like I said, she was blistering up. trying to take it away from the speakers. Because when you look at it here, you can notice it. Right up in there. It's not my computer screen, it's on her. I have my camera lens almost right up onto the computer screen itself. Now I'm going to see about zooming in. What is that? What is that, people? So what I'm going to have to do is take it frame by frame. See, it came in clear just if I go frame by frame. There, you can really see it now. What is that? And they're little electrodes. Maybe they had LED lights running underneath her skin, because it sure wasn't oxygen that was putting color in her face. And when it came time to turn off the machines, the person who did that got all fucking panicky, because he thought that somebody was going to go off and start doing this. And, you know, no, it's only one machine. I'll turn it off. Oh, yeah. Oh, don't do nothing. Just leave it for me. One machine. And within, I don't know, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, she was gray. Gray like she was in my dream. She didn't look like this, though, people. She looked like ShaMay in my dream with the white sheet over her. This is completely different. Like, what is that? It looks like a light to me. It's awfully bright, don't you think? I'm like right up on the camera. I mean, the camera right up on the screen. If it's moving, it's only moving because I'm moving. All right. It's the only way to see is like a magnifying glass. That's her skin. Like you can see it, right?
I'm pretty.
And then I go out of frame because I wasn't looking at that before, people. Right? That's her lip. And that's her tongue, and with a big open hole. I'm just looking here. Maybe you'll see a little hairline. Okay, there's the hairline. That's on the other side of her face. Last one we were looking at was on the other side. You can see the skin. There's that pucker again. We'll call it a pucker. All right. That's her hairline.
Close to the. I'm pretty close to the. What do you call it?
Okay.
To the screen.